Now that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is out in theaters, a lot of fans have been very curious and intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise, both on Disney Plus and in the form of live-action Star Wars movies to come. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about, of course, Episode 9 is that it was basically a movie that created a foundation to bring Star Wars lore from Legends material into canon content under Disney and Lucasfilm. Great example is if you guys go ahead and check out the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary. In there, you will learn that Darth Revan, Darth Andidu, Darth Chernobus are all now canon, and a lot more to come in the near future in 2020. Now, on top of all of this, a lot of fans have been very curious about the Skywalkers, what's going on with the Skywalkers, such as Luke, Anakin, Leia, Ben Solo, you name it. Now, the thing is that we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are going through many different changes and adjustments for the Star Wars franchise, and that they're going to handle the franchise in a different way in order to make it cater to the hardcore fans more so. Now, we've seen the box office results with The Rise of Skywalker earning $500 million worldwide, over that already in just 8 days, and it's very possible that this movie is going to hit $1 billion worldwide at the box office, either toward the very end of January, maybe the very beginning of February. Now, with that being said, this movie in particular really opened up doors for Disney and Lucasfilm, but what's rather exciting has all to do with this, is that there are plans in place to continue the Skywalkers and the saga itself in some way, shape, or form. Now, it's explained that both Disney and Lucasfilm are going through many changes for the future of the Star Wars franchise, and are currently developing over 10 years worth of Star Wars projects that will be both in the form of live-action and animated TV series, and even other projects out there. It's said that this change by Lucasfilm comes from Disney CEO Bob Iger, looking to expand the franchise into something new, while also hanging on to what many original fans love and enjoy. Now, one of the big plans by Lucasfilm is that they are going to continue the Skywalker saga through a series of upcoming projects, both in live action and in animated form. However, it's unclear if this means it has to do with the films or TV series. Given that Lucasfilm are fully invested with Disney Plus, it's very possible that this connects to the talks between Disney and Lucasfilm of developing a young Luke Skywalker TV series for Disney Plus. It's said that this plan is said to be in place due to Disney realizing that the Skywalkers are Star Wars at heart, and that they want to continue the Skywalker saga both in live action and in animated form that will satisfy both original trilogy fans and will reel in some of the new fans that were introduced to Star Wars with the sequel trilogy. Now, this comes as a big shift over at Lucasfilm of changing how they handle the franchise and ways they could handle Star Wars in a better way to please the Star Wars community. This is also Disney's way of expanding the Skywalker saga and filling in the gaps in between some of the fan-favorite films out there that exist. On top of this, Kathleen Kennedy is in the planning stage of continuing the Skywalker saga in some way, shape, or form. Now, though it won't continue in the form of a trilogy, the saga is said to continue in both live-action and animated form, which could mean a TV series or perhaps even a spin-off film sometime in the near future apart from the fourth trilogy of Star Wars movies that would stand on its own. After The Rise of Skywalker gained $500 million at the box office worldwide in 8 days, it's likely that Disney realizes that the Skywalkers are what sell and what attract the original fans of the Star Wars universe. Now, it's said that Disney and Lucasfilm already have over 10 years worth of projects in the early works to create endless Star Wars material both on Disney Plus and on film for movies to come out in theaters that will expand the franchise into something quite massive. Continuing the Skywalker saga in some way is actually said to be Disney's way of keeping the Skywalkers alive, even though they won't be bringing them back in the form of a trilogy. Fans around the world have been very curious about the future of the franchise and where things are going, and that Lucasfilm are trying to keep the Skywalkers alive in spirit, since they are the heart of Star Wars after all. Disney and Lucasfilm are going to announce the entire roadmap of projects for Star Wars this August of 2020 over at Star Wars Celebration in California that will be unveiled, and that will actually unveil an entire series of projects for Disney Plus and in the form of live action movies as well. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, Like I've always said before in the past, there's no question about it, the Skywalkers sell. The Skywalkers are Star Wars at the end of the day. I mean, I think that there's no denying that. Sure, you got other, things about Star Wars that do consist of the franchise, like what we have gotten with The Mandalorian and Solo: A Star Wars Story and Rogue One, which, by the way, all have been great in my opinion. But there's no denying that the Skywalkers are the glue. They really are the main focus of Star Wars. They really are. When we look at the originals, who is it all about? It's all about Luke Skywalker becoming a Jedi, and how he's introduced to that path by Obi-Wan Kenobi, and how he is a descendant of Anakin Skywalker. He is the son of Anakin. So the Skywalkers really are the heart of Star Wars, and Disney and Lucasfilm are realizing this. Now, continuing the Skywalker saga, what does this really mean? Bringing back the Skywalkers does not mean that they are going to be developing a brand new trilogy of Skywalker movies. However, this can honestly have something to do with the talks that Disney and Lucasfilm have been in negotiations with of developing a live-action young Luke Skywalker TV series that would take place after the events of Return of the Jedi, that would show us his path to becoming a Jedi Master. After all, in canon, it's actually noted that there are thousands of missions that Luke went on with R2-D2. You can only imagine the possibility of what you could do with that in the form of a TV series on Disney+. Honestly, I would watch that over and over again. Now, as far as animated content goes, what does that really mean? Well, that could very well mean that we're getting a Star Wars Rebels type of TV show that'll be centered on Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker and continue their story in different eras, set in between specific movies of the originals and the prequels. That's another big possibility. So like I say, the fact that they are bringing the Skywalkers back both in live action and in animated form could either mean for spin-off movies, it could either have something to do with live-action TV series or an animated TV show. It could be anything, but it's going to be a mixture of both live-action and, of course, animated material. Now, like I say, we do know that Kathleen Kennedy said this in a similar way the other, week. She said that they're not necessarily done with the Skywalkers yet. And that really does raise a lot of questions. What does that really mean? Well, now it makes a lot more sense. They're going to continue the Skywalkers. They're going to bring them back in live action form and in animated form, whether it be for movies or TV series. I mean, that's basically what it is at the end of the day. It's not going to be, 3 new Star Wars movies about, let's say, for example, the continuation of the Skywalker family, but at the same exact time, it's going to explore the Skywalkers in different eras. That's what they want to do. And honestly, I think that's what fans want. I think that some fans out there may not want that, but that's fine. But a lot of fans out there want to see more content related to the Skywalkers, right? After all, when they called the sequel trilogy the end of the Skywalker saga, meanwhile, it really wasn't all that much about Luke or Leia or even Ben Solo at that, because he was really Kylo Ren for the majority of the movies. Well, like I say, how they're trying to revisit the Skywalkers in a traditional sense like this, I think it's a good shift. I think it's a good move by Disney and Lucasfilm, and they're finally realizing, I think, where the market really is at for Star Wars. For now, I think that they need to rely on the Skywalkers a little bit more in both live action and animated form, which is what they're doing. Obviously, we're going to learn more about this in 2020. It's going to be a big year, not just for the new Star Wars universe that's going to kickstart, but also for their roadmap of Star Wars projects that will be unveiled over at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, California in August of next year. So August is going to be a big month. They're going to unveil, everything that we need to know about new Star Wars films, new live action TV series, new books, new novels, comics, you name it, tons of material that's going to be coming out in the later half of 2020. So with that being said, when we look at Luke, Anakin, and all, favorite characters in the Star Wars community, a lot of fans love those characters because of what they have really brought to the table, not just in Legends, but also in canon material. Now, like I've always said, I'm very excited to see, what the future holds for Star Wars, and it's going to be quite an interesting ride. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.